Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Arel Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. Man, we've got a lot of changes in our weather pattern just through the next couple of days. Summer-like conditions and then a huge flip-flop in the weather pattern. Talking about flipping a switch, we're going from 70s and some 80s to a chance of thunderstorms and then more rain with cooler temperatures. So let's buckle up, dive in to your most reliable forecast. Again, this is we're taking a deep dive into what you can expect through the next couple of days, including our roller coaster temperatures as well as that chance of rain and then even thunderstorm potential by the time we hit Saturday. Look at this though, today we are starting off with sunshine across the high desert. Now, it actually started off pretty chilly with some areas of some pockets of frost, if you will. So we're going from frost to flip-flops to the potential of even some flurries after we get that chance of thunderstorm activity. So the day today has been gorgeous. We've been topping out in the 60s, some 70s. There are some areas of smoke, and that is because of a couple prescribed burns. We're going to talk about that later, but first, let's go ahead and get into the ridge of high pressure and then the ruckus that's going to be behind it. So here through the last several hours, a few light clouds have been pushing through the high desert. No precipitation in sight, and our next system is well out over the Pacific Ocean, but it's not here yet, and that's the one that rolls in on Friday. So when we look at enhanced satellite, this is infrared satellite imagery, and you can see those pressure lines. So the isobars on there, constant lines of pressure, and we can see that on the other side of the Cascades, it's actually been getting a little breezy today. For Central Oregon, a light breeze, few clouds pushing through, but nothing to get worried about. And then well out over the Pacific Ocean, that's where our next cold front is, and that's the front that's going to be pushing through on Friday, bringing us the huge change up to our weather pattern. But let's look at a different satellite imagery data set. We're going to go ahead and look at water vapor. And water vapor imagery is really fun because it shows us where there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. And this is the mid-level water vapor. And I kept the pressure lines on there. But what it's showing is we have a very dry air mass just to the west. It's part of our ridge of high pressure that's continuing to build into the Pacific Northwest. And as it does that, we get that dry air. That dry air stays with us into Friday, and that's going to be important because Friday's chance of thunderstorm activity is going to be dependent upon whether or not temperatures warm up a lot, because CAPE values or thunderstorm fuel are getting pretty far up there. But for the most part, it's all a matter of how warm we get before that convection really bubbles up and we start to see that risk of thunderstorm activity. So we're going to get to that and more here through the next couple of minutes. But look at this, highs in the last 24 hours, 60s, some 70s, even 75 degrees, and warm springs, and actual temperatures are reflecting that right now. So we have not peaked. Our temperatures are continued to climb, and winds have mostly been at a light breeze. But the flip on that is that the temperature change or delta T, change in temperature, is 6 to almost 11 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. This same warming is expected tomorrow, even a little bit warmer for parts of the high desert. So we're going to continue to warm up with the same enthusiasm that we had today. So it's going to be awesome. Very nice summer-like conditions, not first day of May. Tomorrow is May Day. It is the first day of May, but it's going to feel more like June than it is May. Now, here's the plot twist. That cold front that's off the coastline, that is going to be what really shifts our weather pattern. So still under a ridge of high pressure Thursday, abundant sunshine is expected and summer-like warmth, and that light breeze continues with highs in the 70s and 80s. Not everybody gets into the 80s though. And then by Friday, we keep that warmer air mass over the region. We keep that dry air mass over the region as well. And then some afternoon showers start to develop, and within that development, the potential of thunderstorm activity is going to be there. And then this cold front pushes through. By Saturday, it's not only going to be wetter, not only still going to be gusty, but a 25 to 30 degree drop in temperatures is expected, and those gusty winds continue. We're talking chilly, even the potential of some flurry activity, maybe even in some of our lower elevations with temperatures bottoming, but the big cool down is going to be bottoming out on Saturday. We're looking at highs in the 50s with some 40s across Central Oregon. So here's that temperature trend. We'll lay it out for you through the next 48 hours, highs are going to be in the upper 70s and lower 80s. It will get wetter. That's when we have our chance of thunderstorms. Winds are going to be gusty, and just as quickly as our temperatures plummet, they start to rise once again as we go through Sunday, through Monday, and then next week more 70s, maybe some 80s, late in the 7-day planner. It's going to be great. So let's look at the forecast model. This is just one out of several forecast models that we use. It shows that system offshore. Now through tonight and Thursday, sunshine, very little cloud cover at all. Then freeze frame Friday afternoon. This is when we start to see that shift in our weather pattern, that flip-flop, the weather plot twist, all the little buzzwords that I've been using this whole video. By Friday afternoon, showers start to develop, and the warmer it gets, the more thunderstorm fuel we have, the higher our dew points are going to be. But watch what happens when we go ahead and play forward. We start to see those showers develop into some thunderstorm cells. Now, we're not talking about widespread severe weather, but some of these cells could be capable of producing abundant lightning. Now, once this cold front pushes through, we see a huge, the tables really turn, and we no longer have a chance of thunderstorms as we go through Saturday either, but Friday night, some thunderstorms could hang in there. Watch what happens through the day, through Saturday, Friday night going into Saturday. There was a chance of a few flurries in the highest elevations. Those snow levels could drop to as low as 5,000 feet. Now, is everybody going to get flurries? No. Could some of us? Yeah, quite possibly, and that's going to be through Friday night going into Saturday. Then Saturday, it stays wet. We're looking at scattered showers with some periods of clearing, big drop in temperature, strong winds continue, and by Sunday, our rebound day, our transition day, we start to see some clearing. So we're switching right now. We're going to the GFS, and the GFS is our long-range forecast model, the American one, and it's going to show us what's expected after that system pushes through. So through Saturday night going into Sunday, we keep some clouds, but clearing is expected Sunday. By Monday, more sunshine. By Tuesday, some in and out clouds. It's still dry though. And then by the time we hit Wednesday, we still have that sunshine. So all through next week, we are expecting a bigger warming trend once again. It's going to be more prolonged, but still very similar to what we've had between yesterday and tomorrow, a huge jump in temperatures. But between now and Friday at 11 p.m., we're talking showers, and all that's happening Friday afternoon and evening. There is a risk of thunderstorm activity Friday during the p.m. hours and overnight through the entire Tri-County area, South Central, and much of the eastern third of our state. And we're not talking severe weather, but some of these cells could be capable of producing abundant lightning. So it is something we're going to be tracking with you. But let's go ahead and look at a different way of looking at the forecast model. This is just future precipitation. We're starting the clock at Friday at 11 a.m. before these showers even start to develop. Development begins, it continues. By Friday at 11 p.m., we'll all have seen some showers. A few spots could still be dry, but then Friday night, Saturday, all of that continues, and notice that little bit of blue, Saturday night, and that's when we could see some of those flurries. So Friday night, Saturday night, it's possible, but I wouldn't bet any money on it because it's not probable. There's just a chance for it. Now, I did mention a couple prescribed burns, and one of those is to the southwest of Sisters. Let me move this map because you cannot see those acreages. When I was building the graphics, I didn't think about that little camera right there. So let's go ahead and pull this over, and then we will grab that, and we will pull that over, and that one's that one. Okay, so we do have a couple of these fires that we're continuing to track the details on, and the one to the north of Prineville, northeast of Prineville, that's set to be 762 acres. The one southwest of Sisters, 64 acres. The one southwest of Sisters is already being picked up by satellite imagery and some of those hot spots, but not so much the one northeast of Prineville, but we still all have good air quality when it comes to the hourly average. Meanwhile, when it comes to winds, we're keeping a light breeze. In fact, gentle breeze tonight, and then that stays light through Thursday, but by Friday, winds are going to get breezy and even gusty at times. So I've got to wrap this up real quickly. For tonight, we're looking at 30s, few 40s and 20s. Here's that 7-day planner, roller coaster temperatures, a chance of thunderstorms by the time we hit Friday afternoon going into the evening hours, and some bigger changes are on the way. That's the latest in weather. Join us on Central Oregon Daily News.